So welcome Strategy Battle Games to another GBHL YouTube video. You're here with host GBHL Damian and Mr. Dave Fredericks, and we are here with the second part of our interview with Dave about his life in sculpting, I guess. So if you haven't watched the first part yet, make sure you check that out in the links below, hopefully. And part one was talking about how you're into the hobby, how you started off sculpting and converting and setting up majestic bear miniatures with your tree giants. And then how you formed a partnership with a certain Mr. Kev. Lawrence. I was thinking Kev Spector.
Who's that other guy?
Yeah.
Who's that other guy?
Denmark Spector, and formed Shadow and Flame. And that's where we're going to pick things up.
Okay, yeah. So Kev and I have been corresponding for quite a while, as he was formerly one of my customers. And it was his idea for us to team up and form the company. So we tried that, we put it out there.
What year was this?
Good question. I think it was 2012.
I was guessing like 13, but
It might have been.
I'm not sure when you first started.
I think it was 12 off the top of my head, but I can't remember. Well, it was around about that time anyway. So it was a couple of years after I tailed off a bit. He picked me back up, and off we went. So he organised the website side of things, because as we mentioned in part one, I'm no good at that sort of thing. At the time, he wasn't on Facebook. He didn't have a personal account, so I said, well, I'll sort out the Facebook side of things.
Yeah.
So I run the Facebook page, and a little bit later, as it evolved, I started up the YouTube channel, which has been neglected of late, but there's lots of things in the pipeline.
Because you're very much the face of it, aren't you? Like, you've done all the videos?
Well, we didn't call him Shadow for nothing.
Yeah.
So, that's quite apt.
So was Shadow and Flame, was that picked because of the firefighter reference, or was that complete coincidence?
That was part of it. I said, well, because at the time we were both working full time. I obviously, as you know, been a firefighter for about 10 years, and Kev used to haul gas bottles, cylinders and stuff, load of trucks. So he was quite busy as well. And so we obviously still did this in our spare time. But it seemed like I had a lot more spare time than he did, just to the nature of the shift work that I do. So I was able to crack some stuff out faster than he was managing to paint stuff, which he now does full time. He's managed to work it around, and that's what he does now. He puts in some long hours painting the figures, but for me it's still very much a part-time thing that I do, which is quite telling sometimes at the rate that I'm churning stuff out.
Yeah, well, I think that, I know how long it takes me to paint a model. I can't even conceive of how long it takes me to sculpt one to this kind of standard in my free time.
Yeah, well, the thing with sculpting is it's not like painting where you can just blast through and spend the whole day doing it. You've got to do layers, and that's the nature of the putty. You can't just keep putting layer on layer until it's set. So
yeah.
The trick is to have more than one thing going. Hello. More than one thing going at the same time.
Yeah.
That's the key to keeping on top of the backlog.
I don't know if you've noticed, but we've been joined by Mr. Tom Harrison.
Special guest.
Yeah, special guest. Yes.
Yeah, so once he got the website formed up, did an announcement on the One Ring, because in the meantime both of us had been awarded to us admin duties.
Oh, so that was around then, was it?
Yeah, so that was as Shadow and Flame was becoming more of a thing. We were posting more and more regularly and getting a lot of good feedback, and it was then that Alan, who's Dagger Lad, he suggested that we sort of take over the running of things on the One Ring, as he was largely inactive,
Yeah.
and conceded that somebody sort of needed to pick up the slack, as it were. Which ironically has gone full circle. Now, both me and Kev are so busy doing this. It's we try and make time for it, but and what with the emergence of the Facebook group as well. Traffic on the One Ring has slowed down somewhat. So,
which in a way, from a moderation point of view, is quite nice because there's less fights.
That's true. Yeah.
There's less
things to approve.
Yeah.
But
you just have to delete it retrospectively on the Facebook.
Yeah, I think the forums have still got their place. A lot of people don't go straight for those anymore because they're a bit more long-winded to post on there, and you have to upload your photographs first, and then sort of link to them from a photo hosting site.
It's a much better resource for the longevity though. Like you can go onto the One Ring and you can search well. Yeah. And it finds things.
But not just on the One Ring. Even if you go, provided you've labelled your photograph aptly, you can go on to Google, search up so and so conversion, and on a list of pictures you'll have something from the One Ring because it's on there. But that's something you don't get with Facebook because it's all closed off.
Yeah, I was about to say because I always see your stuff on Google if I'm Google imaging.
Well, Em said
models.
My Bilbo in the spider tree.
Yeah.
When she made that cake, she googled Bilbo in tree, and my spider came up from my work at Bro. But I think as well on Facebook, you just they drop down so quickly. Like you see the same thread constantly coming up, like where the source book's at. Whereas on the One Ring, there was some repetition, but you get that kind of people just look through the threads and find stuff, and it's a very good resource for that. And I don't give it as much time as I used to, definitely. And I think I don't know, maybe the hobby vlogs have done something for that, because instead of taking photos of it now, I make a video of it. It's a shame, and I always try and get on there like every couple of days and just keep
There's still some great stuff being posted on there. There's still a core or nucleus of members that are still very active.
And things like the Cellar View thread are amazing.
There's some gold stuff on there. It's brilliant. I think it's still got a place. Whether or not it'll last, a test of time, we'll have to wait and see. But
so you started Channel Flame to sculpt custom miniatures that Kev would then paint and sell. I guess.
Yeah, it's a one-stop place where you could get completely unique miniature, one of a kind, and get it painted up.
And how did it go?
Very well. I mean, both of us are completely booked up. For like months and months and months, to the point of years.
So do you know how far in advance you are now booked up?
For me, this whole year's written off for me.
Oh yeah.
At least I've got enough work in the book.
So you must have a lot of very patient, people just email you going, yeah, I'll do that for you in 12 months.
I'm terrible. Kev's a lot better than me for corresponding with his clients than I am, which I apologise for if any of them are watching. But like there's one guy in particular I know. It's been about 14 months now. So if you're watching, you probably know who you are because when you put the order in. But it's coming soon, I promise. It's at the top of the list, and we will get around to it. But that's just one of my customers. Obviously he's got his customers that just want paint jobs. I've got mine who just want conversions or scratch sculpts. And obviously, every now and then we get somebody who puts an order in who wants the whole shebang. Like recently, we had that one with the wedding diorama, which was quite nice. It was a little bit out there, something different from the norm, and both of us quite enjoyed.
It's probably worth saying
on that.
If you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
It's like on the Shadow and Flame.
Yeah, it's
Facebook
on
page.
the Shadow and Flame website, and it's on the Facebook.
It's called
page.
Aragorn and Arwen diorama, isn't it? I think.
Yeah,
like that.
Basically it's an Aragorn and Arwen, they're scratch sculpted models, and they were stood on a nice little bridge in Rivendell. Yeah, it's a lovely piece, and it's all housed in a glass bowl.
It's an amazing wedding piece, it really is.
It's a novel idea. And like I say, both of us enjoyed doing that one. But we've done other things as well, like the Balrog, the Gothmog Balrog that we did for Phil Abbott.
Oh yeah, the Lord of the Balrogs.
Yeah, so that was a little bit different. Went for a little bit of a different concept than the existing Balrog.
And then you've also kind of done very well, I guess, out of the lack of support for the Battle of Five Armies in a way. Because
Yeah,
a lot of what you've done has been, you've got your Thranduil and Elk, you've got your Armoured Azogs. How do they kind of fit in with your, I don't know, business plan or workload?
Well, that's it, because, you know, productivity from Games Workshop tailed right off during the Hobbit, didn't it? You know, for whatever reasons. And we all knew there was a lot of models that potentially could have been made. So, you know, there were people coming in and they said, we want an Azog that's got the armour on and the big swordy arm, you know. So got on with that, and Kev's doing the painting, and people like it. So it does have its drawbacks, because the trouble with doing that is once you've done one and you post it on the internet, lots of other people see that and they say, that's so cool, we want one. And then before you know it, like the Thranduil in particular, the one, you know, because I made the antlers, I made the video, and my plan was, everyone's going to be able to do this now. It's a walkthrough video, you can all go and make your own Thranduil on a stag. But people still are not lazy, but still unconfident in their own abilities. I suggest.
It's interesting because can you say the money on it, like what you charge for that?
What I would charge?
Yeah, for converting the Thranduil.
Yeah, if you want. Yeah, because I was charging people £50.
So the antlers are £5,
Yeah.
and to convert it is £50 if they provide the Thranduil.
Yes, yeah, that's the.
So it's like £45 for the labour, and I think a lot of people are like, you know, in the grand scheme of things, that's not too much, given the level. Because I reckon because you did mine, and I reckon I could have got the antlers on the head, and made that alright. Yeah. And I reckon I probably been able to do the hooves and that sort of stuff, but I wouldn't have done the main, whatever it is.
Really, that's probably the easiest part. There's the head. Is the head. I would say if you had said the face, I could understand it because it involves a bit of shape.
But all that, like I would have got the green stuff on, and it would have had lines down it. It wouldn't have looked like hair.
No, but then you haven't seen the video, Dave. I explained clearly how you do the photo.
I think, to be honest, I was watching it, and I think I rage quit because I got to it, and I was watching the bit about the green stuff. And went, nah, there's no point in me watching this. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, you can do it. It's all practice.
But I think that it's the sculpting that puts people off. I think off kind of what you do.
And this comes down to what I was saying in the first video. It's about techniques. If you don't know the techniques, you're never going to get it looking how you wanted it to look when you started. And if you can teach people these, then you know, they get a bit more confident.
But was that a popular pack for you, the antlers?
Yes. Oh, a lot of people still buy just the antlers. So there are people out there hopefully using the video and it's getting lots of hits. So
there's a few on the HTL who've put it up, haven't they?
Because the thing is, you want it. I don't.
Yeah, you want the antlers.
You want either you to convert it or to buy the antlers and convert it.
You don't want a horse,
do you?
No.
It's not right.
It's a shame, you know, that it works out that way. Obviously, you know, I think it was the Perrys that did that one. You know, were only given the concept art that they had to go for.
But you can see it all now, can't you? If you watch the behind the scenes about the
farm,
he's on a horse.
He is on a horse.
So that's what they were given.
So you can't blame the sculptors. You can't blame Games Workshop because they're all planning in advance. What you could say is, all right, they've seen the error. They've done nothing about it. They've just shot off.
But it's because you see it in Unexpected Journey.
Yeah.
You see the stag in Unexpected Journey.
Oh, this one. Yeah.
And then
that's where that one came from.
You have 2 years before the Battle of Five Armies comes out to resculpt it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good segue.
Yeah.
You have your other Thranduil, probably the much lesser seen Thranduil.
I guess so. Yeah.
Because
that's the harder one to do. Although I have seen people using the Wild Rider stags from Warhammer.
You did that one first, didn't you? That was done before
we even knew about this one.
He was out, wasn't it? Yeah. And that. I mean, the great thing about that one is that still has a place as that kind of one from.
It's a bit more. It's a bit more unique because, you know, not too many people have, because that one is a lot easier to do.
Yeah.
Plus, it's got all the armour on and it's the fancy Thranduil, whereas this one was, you know, he's just a prologue Thranduil, I called him. He was just a nice sort of collector's piece, and I think I won
Yeah, you wanted painting
It's only my local Games Workshop,
yeah,
Southampton, but it was nice. They got some recognition.
Winning any painting competition is
beat out those 40k.
The tricky thing on that is the robes, and it's the
Yeah.
If you're ever trying to get a foot model into a cavalry model, you want like a knight of Ministerial, or I do. I'm sure it doesn't bother you, but I don't want anything with a cloak, because it's the cloak dropping down that then causes havoc.
Yeah, and that is again that's technique and familiarisation with how cloth falls. You know, if it's hanging, you have vertical folds going from small down to big near the bottom, whereas you get extension folds and compression folds. Whenever you look at anything, it's all a bit scientific now, but if you can get your head around where a fold is supposed to be, then you're halfway there to working out where how to sculpt it. And I think that's a lot of a mistake a lot of novice sculptors make, is not knowing how the cloth should fall. It's the difference between sort of making it look really good or making it look fantastic. I sort of see things in other sculpts that people have done, and from experience I can tell where things aren't quite right, where they need to, and that's the same with proportions as well, or poses. Sometimes things are in a very unnatural pose, and that just comes down to experience, and anatomy.
I think that's still got a very much got a place though. Like you could have him leading Mirkwood Elves, and then Thrall or Thrain or Thorin with Warriors of Erebor in a kind of, pre-Smaug alliance army. I think that'd be very cool.
Yeah, I mean it's a nice model, and I think.
And that is that the Wood Elf? Is the whole thing the Wood Elf stag? Is that right?
Yeah, more or less. Well, the stag body and head is obviously the plastic one.
Yeah.
But because they're quite prancy, the models, I completely had to chop up all the legs into sections, and I rebuilt them straight, looking at the normal deer, how it would stand and stuff. So that's been completely reconstructed.
A lot more work goes into
and
that.
And obviously the antlers are new because they're quite thin on the original models.
So if you were, do you kind of charge on an hourly rate? So if you were doing that kind of one, would it still be the same?
I think if I charged on an hourly rate, I don't think many people would be able to afford it.
With some sort of, this is going to be a small job, a medium job, a big job, so it's this cost, or this cost.
To a certain degree, I mean, like people will contact me like they just want a head swap, so I think that's not going to take very long. Be a 10 hour maybe. Something. I mean, the most I've ever charged for a conversion is the £50. Just because I think, well, that's for most people that's quite a lot of money, and I'm in a luxury where this is not my main income. If this was my sole job, like Kev is doing, where all he's done is paints now, obviously my price would have to go up, quite a lot for me to be able to pay my bills, and sort of make a living from it. Whereas at the moment it's nice to have.
It's just hobby money.
Yeah, and
it's interesting because you need to be rewarded for your time, but equally, to get the money, you've got to be charging something that it is not going to reward you for your time. In a way.
Well, for me, it's not so much about the money. The money, don't get me wrong, everyone likes money, don't they? But for me, the time is the biggest commodity that I can have, and I haven't got enough time to do everything that I would like to do. And that is exaggerated when I have to constantly keep doing the same conversion over and over again.
Yeah, that's...
Because I just kept further and further behind, and I'm doing the same thing over and over, and it gets quite boring.
Which is why you started palming out work to your Padawan.
Yeah.
Ticket out Steve Crow.
Steve Crow's
Because he's not sick of Thranduils. I saw a post from him saying he was
You
bored.
do.
I said this to you.
Because once you've done a few, it becomes quite simple, just through repetition. You do anything enough, it just becomes second nature. And I think I got into double figures with that, doing the antlers, and every day was the same. And even though
It's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
I just finished it.
you know, like I say, the money's nice, but you're just not having much fun with it anymore. And I had to draw the line, and I said, I'm not going to do any more, you know. And when people still contact me now and say, you know, can you do me one, because I'm not confident enough to try it. And I said, well, no, I'm afraid I don't do those anymore, I'm too busy, but I know somebody might be able to help you out. And yeah, so I send him Steve's way, and he's been doing a good job, so well done, Steve. Thanks for bailing me out, you know.
Cheers for the tickets.
I'm sure, hopefully he appreciates the business.
And so you did well out of Thranduil, out of GW's kind of, I don't know,
Yeah.
not laziness, but reticence, I
Yeah.
guess. And you've also done well out of certain
Yeah.
orc,
Oh yeah.
because we've got 3 examples of here, and this
Azog,
is not
yeah.
your lot. So
No.
tell us about Azog.
Azog. Well, where do we start with Azog?
It's the head one, isn't it?
The biggest problem with Azog, sometimes you can blame the sculptor, sometimes you can't. Like with the Thranduil, you can't blame the sculptor for that, because he's gone with what he's got.
Yeah.
The Azog, the poses on Azogs, I think, are terrible, but then that's just my personal opinion, you know.
I don't think the foot one's very good at all.
No.
I love the mounted one. I think the mounted
Yeah.
one's
The
brilliant.
mountain one is great, but it's probably a
It's
little
too
bit
small.
small.
Proportions wrong, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But
the
pose-wise
first
is
one,
great.
The first one.
It's just his arms are all funny.
Yeah, that's what goes to what I'm saying about, you know, if you try and stand like that, it's
Yeah.
not a natural way to stand. And then the one they're coming after that, you know, the
Prancing
dancing one looks like he's
Yeah. It's,
skating about.
David Whittaker put him up yesterday, and he said that he thinks he looks much better in person.
yeah,
And
I've seen it in person. It looks good from it looks good from an angle where you stop that arm looking unnatural. But as soon as you turn it around to the front, it's like,
Yeah.
that's weird.
No,
So there was one angle that looked really good from behind, I think.
Yeah.
But from the front, he looks terrible.
but I think because he's a much bigger, beefier, so from that point of view, he's a lot better
Yeah.
in my opinion than the previous incarnation. But still, the pose, you know, when you think of what they could do with it,
Yeah.
you know, all the footage
All
from
kind
the
of iconic
movies,
moments. Yeah.
it's just like, come on,
Yeah.
you know. So obviously people contacted us, hate the Azog poses. Can you repose him? Sure. You know, can you put an arm back on him? No problem. You know.
That was us. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was this guy here.
Yeah.
We'll zoom in on, I'm sure. That was our first time we nagged you for the magazine.
That was SBG issue 2.
Yeah, 'cause
I managed
issue
to dodge
one-
issue 1.
Yeah, we didn't have anything.
It's
in
because
issue
no one
one.
believed.
No, it's
Although
true.
we did.
Yeah.
Well, Kev did. I was
Yeah.
like, you know,
No,
I say no one believes in us.
he,
It's just we
he
didn't
rolled the dice
ask
with
him.
you.
He
And
really
I
did.
remember him, actually, we were having a conversation, Kev and I, and they were saying, like, a group of lads are trying to get a magazine together. And the reason I was sceptical was
Yeah, that's good.
no, it wasn't anything personal, but in the past we had guys who wanted to do an online magazine, and it hasn't really panned out, despite sort of contributing and stuff. And I thought this is just going to be another one of those ventures. I haven't really got time for it. Yeah, good luck to him, but and it wasn't.
It's probably worth saying we didn't approach. You didn't turn us down.
No.
For that
they
first one, we
no,
didn't approach it.
You didn't approach me to
Dave wasn't going. No, mate. no way.
This was all coming
Not
through
really
Kev.
books,
'cause I think you had approached Kev for
Yeah.
some
Painting
painting
article,
guide.
yeah.
And he mentioned that he was doing one, and I was like, yeah, good luck with that. And it wasn't until it was released, and I thought, you know what, this is pretty good. Yeah. So pat on the back, lads. I thought, I need to get on board this. I'm missing out. What's going on? Yeah. I don't want to miss the boat.
I'm so glad you see it like that.
Yeah.
It's good that we helped you out.
Yeah.
'Cause I know you needed the help from
Yeah.
us.
You need the exposure,
Yeah,
yeah.
you needed that Azog sculpted.
Yeah, because otherwise you'd only be booked up for like 8 months, not a year.
So yeah, we I can't even remember how we first approached it, but we were doing As and Albers after issue 2, and we needed Azog with 2 arms. And you could have done.
I think I approached you.
Did you, maybe? I don't know.
I think I said, good job, lads. You know, if you
Oh,
want
I'll be with
anything from me for
Yeah,
the future.
I have a feeling
and you were
that-
like,
yeah.
you were like, right.
Oh, you
hang
silly
on.
little lamb.
And it's Bilbo's contract comes out. Oh, all right.
So I was like, we could do, we could get a berserker and put his arm on, and you can make it work. But it was also a pose, and it was wanting the want, I reckon I could do a conversion of that Azog with 2 arms, but it would be a very similar pose as opposed to that, which I think, and I'm biased because I've got this. I think this one with the arms is the best Azog pose.
I think so.
That is either been on sale or anyone's converted. I think that one is absolutely spectacular, and it looks like
he looks powerful.
Azog. Yeah, they obviously look like Azog because he's got his face, but the pose and everything. It's Azog to me, that one. It really, really is.
No, it's nice.
But yeah, we'd spent about half an hour doing different. Well, you doing different poses.
Well, that was the thing you said. Right, I want his arm kind of up in the air, swinging a mace, and the other one sort of forwards. And I was like, just send me a photograph.
Yeah, but you sent. We had 2 other models. You sent me 2 pictures. Going, is it a cross between these 2?
Yeah,
it was a done landing with an axe and one other. Yeah, I can't remember what the other was.
As a sculptor, because you're making something. Well, not from scratch in this case, but you are changing it considerably. It's very important. I can't stress the importance of having source material or reference material, so that you know what you're supposed to be doing, and you're making something that your customer is expecting. They've got something in their head that they're thinking of, and if it's not what you're thinking of, you're going to clash at some point. So from an early start, you need to sort of nail that down straight away. So that's when I said, look, just send me a picture of how you want it, and that was in the magazine, wasn't it?
Yeah, with a feather duster.
Yeah, but it worked. I knew what you wanted, and that's more or less what you got.
And it was amazing. And it was great. And that was the first thing I'd ever had. I'd had the tree giants, but the first kind of conversion. That was really cool getting that, and I know that people loved it when it came out and were very impressed. I remember when we put the cover up, there was about 10 comments, and it said, "Oh my god, that looks awesome, that looks great, oh that looks so," and then 10 comments later, Azog's got both arms. And it was a long way down, and then there was oh my god, how is that? So you had that. You had already done the one of him holding Thrall's head.
I don't know where that came from. I don't think that was a customer.
She's done it for
I
yourself.
might have just done that for myself.
Which again is cooler than the other ones, I think. It's a better pose, even that. Yeah. Even though it's very specific.
Yeah.
And we borrowed this as well for a shot in the magazine because it was so in keeping. And then of course Battle 5 Armies came out, and you started putting armour on hundreds of them.
Well, they put armour on them, didn't they? So, hey, wouldn't you know it? Can we have some armour on this Azog, please? Yeah, alright then.
But that's him in the shot that was non-armoured, and then they armoured it retrospectively, didn't they?
He's not armoured.
That's right, yeah.
That's the trailer, the photograph one,
And that's also wonderfully, because if my memory serves, after seeing the trailer, you sculpted that ahead of the film, going, I'm going to get this.
If you look at that magazine there, Tom, if you somewhere near the middle,
boom.
Oh,
boom,
well,
look at that.
I don't know if you can see that, but that's kind of where that came from.
And is that with him in armour?
Yeah.
Because it's the first trailer, the teaser trailer, where there's that shot and he's not in
armour. That's right.
And then, I think he sculpted this before Christmas, going, I'm going to rake this in. And then that shot's not in the film!
Yeah, no, it's not.
Neither of those shots. There's loads of those shots from the trailers of the armies moving that just aren't in the film. But I still think he's been
that's very popular.
Maybe, it almost... I'm just wondering... No, it isn't the Gundabad one. I was wondering whether it's the Gundabad one and it's now Bolg let them out of Gundabad. Whether it was a pre... They did it ages ago when he was in a different place.
God only knows.
Who knows? Another.
So you have him, and then...
Yeah.
There's Azog on Ice.
Azog on Ice, which was first commissioned by Phil Atherton, who had previously enjoyed his Lord of Balrogs model so much that he tapped us up again, and he said he wanted an Azog with the, well, not the ball and chain, but the lump of rock battling on the ice with the ice cracking and stuff. So
that's your fourth different Azog pose.
Yeah.
And have you done a lot of multiples of those?
Yeah, well, all of them.
So how many Azogs do you think you've done?
Oh, I don't know. Well, altogether, probably at least 12, 15.
So you're also working on a new Azog as well?
Yeah, it's he's going to be sort of leaping through the air or off a rock and attacking someone down below.
But not necessarily in Ravenhill.
Not necessarily. I wasn't, the concept I had for it. It's just that I had a spare top half, of Azog, the mounted Azog, which is a little bit smaller than obviously the Lieutenant version, but it was still didn't have its place, I think. So I resculpted some legs, and going to put some armour on the torso, so that'll thicken it out a little bit, and hopefully it'll look pretty good. So that'll be another one.
Which you need.
And is that
You can never have too many Azogs. I think Azog is probably my most worked on character as a whole.
You could have had that as a tribute, because we've been doing them. You could have had a live phone in on the planter with that kind of question.
That wasn't have a live phone, it's not live.
Yeah.
Ring in now. That's just staring at the camera going, why are they doing it?
No, but toying with the idea of possibly making a thin armour piece that you can put on an Azog. It would be quite fiddly though, so we're kind of,
Oh, really?
as a conversion that people can do themselves, so I haven't got to keep doing them over and over again.
I'll still send it to you. Nah, you do it.
Yeah, you do
I
it.
can't stick it, my glue's rubbish, can't stick it on. But we've got to iron that out, because it would have to be a very thin piece to really work.
I would have thought the blade would be more popular.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
put an arm, like an arm swap.
Well,
an
that's
arm
easy.
with a
Like
blade
you
on
say,
it.
that's easy. That's just an arm on a screw, isn't it?
Yeah. That would be quite cool. And like you could do another arm holding a mace or something. So you could just, might not be wearing the armour, but and then you could have a body on there in armour. and then a head. You could just do all the limbs.
Yeah.
Is that like an Azog conversion sprue? If you've got 2 arms, 2 legs, a body, a head.
No, you
But
just
you
missed the head. You
I
just missed the head.
think that's a multi-part.
It's the leaping one for you, so it's not.
Yeah,
It's not.
well, it's kind of, that's why it hasn't come to the surface yet, because it's something I've just got on the side waiting to be done, but there's lots of other things to work on before then, like customers who've been waiting 14 months for their conversions.
So speaking of that, what's next? Can you tell us? Can you give us any previews of anything or any upcoming projects or anything like that?
No, well, the thing with the Shadow and Flame stuff, right, is we're incredibly conscious of IPs and copyright stuff. So the stuff we do is either generic or it's conversion stuff that you can enhance your own Games Workshop models. Right?
Yeah.
It's been very easy for me to make a whole, like the Iron Hill stuff. Everyone wanted Iron Hill's dwarves. Alright, I could have made a load of models, but that wasn't the way I wanted to do things. This way, you've got to buy a box of Grimhammers.
Yeah.
So, trying to keep Games Workshop sweet.
That's a conversion kit, isn't it? It's not a...
That's it. So people.
And the Grimhammers are great models.
Yeah. Same thing with the, the dwarf mounting up the ponies. People, wanted an easy way to mount their dwarfs.
I like the fact that somewhere there's a landfill in the UK.
Probably
just
of dwarf torsos.
But
Yeah.
Metal dwarf travellers.
Well, I did see quite a
Dwarf
nice.
adventure.
I can't remember who did it.
Was it the Italian?
Yeah, someone put it on Dwalin's legs. They cut
Oh,
the top
right.
off of Dwalin and put him on the pony, but they've done it so carefully, so they put the travelling dwarf body on Dwalin's legs, and he looked pretty good.
Was it Acthon?
Oh.
It was someone who I remember.
Yeah, you know who you are, and that was
Yeah.
good. I like it.
Yeah. No, I like that. It looked cool.
It didn't look out of place, did it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But the travelling dwarf was a bit more of a traditional look to the dwarfs, like from
He looks like the Hobbit. Yeah, he looks like a traditional
the books,
hooded dwarf from the Hobbit.
like the Alan Lee sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the reason, because you've still got to buy your company to be able to do that. You still got to buy Grimhammers, and you still got to buy a Thranduil model if you want to put the antlers on.
Yeah.
I can't make a Thranduil on and out as much as I'd like to, and how easy it would be.
Yeah, it's
there's
practically trivial.
there's legal reasons why we can't do that.
But I also think the pose is fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, it's very suited for it.
That
isn't it?
model doesn't need anything else apart
But
from
the
antlers.
antlers,
You know, like it.
Yeah.
It's a great pose. It's just wise and horse. So any more stuff coming onto the web store? Any new releases?
Yeah, well, we've already mentioned about the new tree giants, which the next one was going to be the ash, and there's a fir, which is still work in progress.
Which are very cool.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, so still got some stuff to do, and there'll be another 2 coming.
That'll be 5. So there's another 2 coming after these.
Yeah,
I think he's my favourite out of all of your
Yeah,
tree giants.
short
yeah.
and stocky. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
I think he's really good.
Hefty. You
Yeah.
can do some damage.
So when can we expect to be buying
Well, I'm
these?
going to cut them up pretty soon because I've got to destroy them. So, to send them off to the casters to get moulded. So, and that's not a quick turnaround by any means. That normally takes a couple of months at least. So we're probably looking at the summer at the earliest. You know, might even be autumn, but
And it'll be those 2.
they'll definitely be out this year. How early I can't really say because that's kind of a little bit out of my hands. But I do need to get them chopped up and sent off. The sooner I get that done, the sooner they can get moulded.
And you said there were 2 more in the pipeline?
Yeah, I've got oak, so he'll be another hefty chap.
So have they started? Have they been started? Are they on the way?
Well, if you mean how I made the armatures, then yes.
Okay.
But that's about as far as I've got. Yeah, there's a lot of other stuff going on. There's my own conversions, which is a secret project. But yeah, I'm not going to reveal that just yet. I'll keep you on tenterhooks. And what else? I can't really say. I can't.
Yeah, that's fair
I,
enough.
I want to, but
Fair enough.
if I just tell you everything now, it'd be.
Got to be
But there's
better.
nothing to talk about
I
next
think
time.
we'd be slightly hypocritical if we condemned
Yeah.
you for
You never tell anything.
being
to anyone.
filthy teasers. Can we reveal?
No.
No, not
Yeah.
what it is. I think we can reveal the involvement of a young man here in an upcoming publication.
What young man?
This guy.
What publication is that?
That you have done
You say young
something.
man as well.
Yeah.
That's very
You have
patronising
done
of you.
something for issue 3.
Issue 3, yeah, I did something.
It's not bad.
It's
Not
alright.
bad, it's alright.
alright.
It's not
Different.
bad.
It is different.
There's no photograph for this one.
No.
But yeah, so Dave Fredericks, he is involved
Yeah.
in issue 3 again.
I'm firmly on the bandwagon of this little machine.
Again, you are welcome.
Yeah.
Alright. Thanks for having me.
Things we do for you.
I know.
So I think
Pleasure.
to wrap up, I have 2 questions. If you put your finger on them.
Is this
One.
trivia?
Trivia
Insane.
section.
What is the hardest or most complicated sculpt or conversion you've ever done?
Put me on a bit of spot there, Dame. Thanks for your heads up.
You can always pause
complicated.
this if you want and stare at you while you think.
It's complicated. Does it have to be Lord of the Rings?
No, I suppose not. Is it the NFL guys? From your
No, it's not the
from your
NFL guys. No, for somebody's birthday, I had to make, is it a Pixar film? DreamWorks. It's Toothless the Dragon.
From House of
yeah.
Taming Dragon.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool.
I had to make one of those, and I had to find a way of making the wing membranes because they're so thin, and I managed to figure that out in the end using some wire mesh. So that.
So that was
I had to think about that one.
Designed and sculpted the
Yeah,
dragon from
yeah,
House of Taming
yeah.
Dragon.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Are there pictures of that?
There are pictures on the Facebook page.
On the Facebook.
On the Facebook, yeah. No, on the Shadow Playing Facebook page, if you look in my
don't think I've
sculpting,
seen
if
that.
my sculpting gallery, I think there's 1 or 2 in there.
Cool. How big's that?
If you go on the One Ring and look in the archives, there's a whole thread on it from start to finish. How big is it? Well, it's on the dragon-size oval base,
Right, okay.
and it's sort of kind of on a rock.
So
with
he's
its wings
not
up.
doing scale. Would he be acceptable
Yeah,
at a
it was.
tournament as a dragon?
Probably would. Yeah.
Okay, so that's probably the most complicated.
Yeah, it wasn't perfect, but I'll openly admit that. I did cut a few corners and rush it because I was on a very short deadline to get it turned around and painted. But it did teach me a few things, so I've learned from it. And the best way to learn is to have a crack at it and see how you get on.
I think the best way to learn is to get you to do it.
No, what do you learn then?
What I did with my
You
other
can
three
learn how
hours.
to fix
I
radiators.
learned how not to smash up my Thranduil model. I think that's what I learned, that valuable thing. And the other one, if you've got one, what's your favourite model or sculpt you've done?
My
Or
personal
the one you're
favourite.
most proud of or most happy with?
That was a bit high, wasn't it? I think
SVG has okay.
that was fairly easy. I was quite pleased with the with this one.
Oh, right to the end, I saved it with this one. Who is that?
Yeah, well, this was.
That's good because we hadn't done it.
No, we hadn't even mentioned him, had we?
It's almost as if you planned it.
This was like the Thoronga, wasn't it? His name it was like an unreleased model.
And he
from
caused
the
us,
old
he
Warhammer.
caused a stir about 3 years ago or something when he was in a Warhammer World Cabinet, which
Yes.
is incredibly bizarre.
Yeah.
And no one, I think, if I remember this right, no one knew anything about him until
someone
they,
took a sneaky
just put
photograph.
him in the
didn't they?
cabinet.
Yeah, and someone took a picture.
and it was like, well, this is there, and then suddenly, very quickly, it was like, it's not there anymore, and it was.
Was it for the Rohan supplement that never was?
Yeah, something like that. And
Which is a shame.
So he was a real model by GW, foot mounted.
Yeah.
Didn't exist. Or was,
And
what
it's
do we
obviously-
think? There's 13 of them or something from that one first mould or something. Is that right?
Probably about that.
Yeah.
Knowing what I know about moulding, it might be a few more, but there's not that many. Less than 20, I would say.
Have you got him?
Have I got one? Yes.
The original.
Yeah.
But he sculpted one anyway.
I could have made my own one, yeah.
But then someone asked you to sculpt it as a commission.
Yes.
It
And that
looks-
would have been very easy for me to do something naughty with the one I had, but instead I took the time and I made
He looks great.
a replica.
But that you can do that. Then you can do that as a one-off to.
Yeah,
It's actually you doing a sculpt and giving it to someone, I suppose.
that's right, yeah. It's no, it's an original sculpt. Apart from the sword, obviously. It's just,
He's amazing. But you haven't done
Yeah.
the mounted version.
I have not done the mounted version yet.
Lazy.
It's in progress, but
Oh, is it?
yeah, not
Very cool.
still got a way to go.
It's super cool.
I have one question as well. Are there any models where you've given them to somebody and you've been like, I don't want to give it you now. I've spent so much time on it. It looks really good.
Yeah, there's a lot of those. I think probably Kev suffers from this more than I do because he gets to see it finished. Yeah, whereas I send them off and they're either completely green or completely grey. Or it's very rare that I paint them as well. I do occasionally, like all the tree giants. I normally paint up because that's my thing. Kev hates painting them, so I normally do that. But yeah, probably the one thing I regret getting rid of is the stone giant, which Kev's got. But at least one of us has it.
Okay.
Because I made it for myself and then I sold it to him because he offered me a lot of money for it. So, and now he has it and I don't. But he did paint it out brilliant. So nice one, Kev. Keep up the good work.
He doesn't mean it. Cool. Well, yeah, I think that's.
I think we're about there.
Yeah.
Yes, here we are.
But thanks so much for like coming to see us. I join you. It's just at my house, isn't it? So thanks so much for joining us today on the show.
No problem.
But make sure you go and check out Shadow and Flames Facebook page and like it, and their YouTube channel. They did a fairly
subscribe.
spectacular tea toast.
Yeah, I do promise. There is more stuff coming, but obviously you appreciate how busy we are. So it's just sort of as and when, But there, keep tuned. We will. I will be making more videos.
And Shadow will be lurking.
Shadow
in
will
the
be in the
shadows.
shadow. Flame will be shining brightly.
And check out the website and buy a load of tree giants because they are fantastic.
Oh yeah. On that note, when does this go out?
I've got to edit all those photos into it.
Oh yeah.
It's the second part. I wouldn't
Tree Giants back in stock. by the end of the
2018?
week, so-
I don't know.
Yeah. Hello.
Tree Giants are back in stock.
The willow and the birch, I think, are out currently, but I've got delivery today, so
Cool. Yeah, then you should have packaged them up by the time I edit that.
yes,
I would have thought.
they'll be ready
They'll
for
be
the
sold
weekend.
out by then.
Probably will. That'll be long gone.
Hey, you said. Yeah.
Yeah, make sure you go and check them out because Shadow Flame over the years have done an awful lot for the channel and on a personal note for us, an awful lot for the magazine. And thank you very much for that. It's greatly appreciated. And to you too, Kev, wherever you are.
Get some green stuff. Start sculpting, everyone.
Until next time, don't forget to comment, like, share and subscribe.
Support your host in the links below, and support him.
Oh, I was going to say that.
Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
Yes. Is there another?
That's two. That's two.
Oh,
Do more.
The big ones.
you've done the hosts.
Yeah, the really big ones. Catch
Support your hobby.
and happy
Happy
strategy
strategy.
battle gaming.
Oh.
Yes.